I know how heavy this season feels. Not sharp in one moment, but long and wearing. The kind of heaviness that settles slowly, day after day, until you wonder how much more you can carry. I see how tired you are beneath it. You don't need to pretend this is easy. This season has asked a lot of you. More patience than you thought you had. More endurance than you expected to need. And even when you haven't said it out loud, I know the quiet fear that has been rising in you. The fear that this might finally be the thing that breaks you. It will not. This season will not break you. Not because you are unbreakable, but because you are being held. You are not standing inside this alone. You are not bearing its weight by yourself. Even when it feels like everything is pressing in at once, there is something underneath you that has not given way. I am here beneath you. I know there are days when you wake up already tired, when you haven't even begun and you feel behind, when the thought of continuing feels heavier than the season itself. You don't need to judge yourself for that. Weariness is not weakness. You have been strong for a long time in very quiet ways. Strong by continuing. Strong by staying. Strong by breathing through moments that felt too much. You may not recognize that strength because it didn't look dramatic. But I see it. This season has stretched you, but it has not snapped you. It has bent you, but it has not erased you. You are still here. Even now. Especially now. You don't need to convince yourself that you're okay. You don't need to rush to find meaning in this. You don't need to tell yourself that it's making you better. Tonight is not for that. Tonight is for rest. I know how easy it is to believe that if you just endure a little longer, you'll reach a breaking point. That there is some invisible line ahead of you where everything finally gives out. You don't need to live in fear of that line. You are not approaching collapse. I am watching how much you are carrying. I am aware of the strain. I am not asking you to hold more than you can. Even when you feel close to the edge, you are not being left there alone. You are being steadied. This season feels relentless because it hasn't offered you clear relief yet. It hasn't resolved. It hasn't loosened its grip. That can make time itself feel threatening, like the longer this lasts, the worse it will get. You don't need to predict the future tonight. You only need to know this moment is being held. I know how quietly you wonder if you're changing in ways you won't recognize. If something inside you is wearing thin. If you'll come out of this hardened or hollowed. You don't need to fear that. Nothing essential about you is being destroyed. Nothing true about you is being taken away. Even if you feel altered, even if you feel softer or more fragile than before, that does not mean you are breaking. You are adapting under care. I am not standing by, waiting to see if you survive this. I am actively holding you through it. There is a difference, even if you can't feel it yet. You are not being tested to your limit. I know there are nights when you replay everything that has piled up. When your mind counts the weight instead of resting. When sleep feels shallow because part of you is bracing for tomorrow. You don't need to brace here. You can set your guard down for a moment. Nothing will collapse if you rest. Nothing will fall apart because you stop holding it together for the night. I am holding it. This season will not break you. Not because it isn't hard, but because you are not unsupported. You are not invisible inside it. You are not forgotten beneath its weight. I see every quiet moment you almost gave up. I see every time you kept going without strength. Those moments matter. You don't need to gather yourself tonight. You don't need to prepare for what's next. You don't need to be resilient in this moment. You are allowed to be tired. You are allowed to feel worn down without fearing what that means. Being tired does not mean you are failing. Feeling close to empty does not mean you are at the end of yourself. It means you've been carrying a lot. I am not asking you to see this season as good. I am not asking you to welcome it. I am not asking you to grow from it right now. I am only asking you to let yourself be held. Even if this season feels longer than you expected. even if it has taken more from you than you thought you could give. Even if you don't see how it ends yet, it will not break you. You don't need to repeat that to yourself like a mantra. You don't need to force belief. Let it sit quietly beside you, like a truth that doesn't demand your agreement. I am here with you in the middle of this, not rushing you through it, not minimizing it, not ignoring how heavy it feels. I am here to carry you when you cannot carry yourself. You are not made of glass, and you are not being crushed. You are being held through something difficult, and being held makes a difference, even when you can't feel it yet. You can let this moment soften. You can let your breathing slow or stay uneven. You don't need to regulate yourself. You are safe right now. This season will not break you. And tonight, you do not have to prove that you're surviving it. You can rest. I know you feel yourself growing weaker, not all at once, but slowly, in small ways that are easy to miss until one day you realize you don't have the same strength you used to. Things take more out of you now. Rest doesn't refill you the way it once did. And quietly, a fear settles in, the fear that this weakness means you are breaking. It does not. Becoming tired is not the same as being destroyed. Feeling worn does not mean you are coming apart. You are not failing because you feel less capable than before. You are human inside a long season. I see how carefully you've been rationing your energy, how you've learned to choose what you can and cannot hold, how you've stopped reaching for certain things not because you don't care, but because you don't have the strength to carry them anymore. That is not giving up. That is survival. I know you worry that if this continues, there will be nothing left of you, that each day takes a little more, and one day you'll wake up empty. You don't need to live in fear of that ending. You are not being drained without care. I am aware of your limits, even when you feel like you've crossed them. I am not asking you to give what you do not have. I am not disappointed when you need to stop. You are not required to stay strong here. Weakness does not disqualify you from being held. It does not push you closer to breaking. In fact, it often brings you closer to rest, even when it doesn't feel that way yet. You are allowed to be weaker than you were before. I know that thought scares you. You remember the version of yourself who could carry more, endure longer, move faster. You wonder where that version went and whether you'll ever see them again. You don't need to grieve that version tonight. You are not losing yourself. You are learning your edges. You are discovering where support is needed, even if you didn't want to discover it this way. I am supporting you here. You don't need to force yourself back into old strength. That strength belonged to a different season. This season requires something else, something gentler, something slower. That does not mean you are breaking. I know how quietly shame can creep in when you feel weak, how it tells you that you should be able to handle this better, that others seem to manage more, that you are somehow falling short. You don't need to listen to that voice. I am not comparing you to anyone else. I am not measuring your endurance. I am not watching to see if you last. I am holding you. There are moments when your weakness feels visible, exposed. Moments when you fear others can see how close to the edge you are. You don't need to protect yourself from me. I see you already, and I am still here. You don't need to perform strength. You don't need to appear okay. You don't need to hide how tired you are. This season is not breaking you. It is revealing where you need gentleness. I know how strange that sounds. When everything feels heavy, gentleness can feel insufficient. But gentleness is not fragile. It is not weak. It is how things endure long stretches without shattering. You are being held with gentleness. Even as your energy fades, even as your resilience feels thinner, there is something steady beneath you that is not wearing out. Something that does not grow tired the way you do. I am that steadiness. You don't need to push yourself tonight. You don't need to see how much more you can handle. You don't need to test your limits. Your limits are being respected here. I know you fear that if you stop pushing, everything will fall apart, that resting will somehow make things worse. You don't need to be afraid of rest. Nothing essential depends on you staying strong through the night. You can let your body be tired. Let your mind slow down. Let your heart stop bracing. You don't need to hold yourself together. I am holding you together. This season has not come to break you by wearing you down. It has not come to erase you piece by piece. Even though it feels relentless, it is not reckless. You are not being crushed. I know how close you feel to your limits, how the smallest things feel heavy, how even good things can feel like too much. That sensitivity does not mean you are fragile beyond repair. It means you need care. You don't need to be afraid of your own tiredness. You don't need to see it as a sign of the end. You don't need to push past it to prove anything. You are allowed to stop. I am not disappointed by your weakness. I am not alarmed by it. I am not worried that you are breaking. I am calm with you. Even now, as you rest in these words, you are being held in a way that does not demand strength from you. You don't need to be resilient here. You don't need to recover quickly. You can simply be. This season will not break you, not because you resist it, but because you are not facing it alone. I am with you in your tiredness, with you in your slowing, with you in the places where you feel less capable than before. And I am not going anywhere. You can let this part of the night be gentle. You can let go of the fear that weakness means the end. You can let yourself soften without falling apart. You are still whole. Even if you feel worn, even if you feel thin, even if you feel close to your limits, you are held. And being held changes everything, even when you don't feel it yet. This season will not break you. I know what scares you most is not today. It's tomorrow, and the day after that, and the quiet thought that keeps returning. What if this doesn't end soon? What if the weight keeps pressing, and you don't know how much longer you can hold it? You don't need to face that fear alone. I see how time has begun to feel like an enemy. How each passing week feels less like movement and more like proof that this season is staying. How endurance feels harder when there is no clear finish in sight. You don't need to calculate how long you can last. You are not being asked to survive the entire season at once. You are not being required to imagine the end. You are only here in this moment, and this moment is being held. I am holding you in this moment. I know how quietly panic can rise when you think about the future, how it whispers that you are already tired, already stretched, already close to your edge. So what happens if this keeps going? You don't need to answer that question tonight. The future does not need your strength right now. It does not need your planning or your preparation. Can wait. You are not running out of what you need for today. I know it feels like time is draining you instead of carrying you. Like each day takes more than it gives back. That can make you feel trapped inside a season you didn't choose and can't escape. You are not trapped without care. I am not watching the calendar, measuring how long you've lasted. I am watching your heart, your breath, your limits. I am attentive to how much you can carry. You are not expected to outlast this by force. I know how tempting it is to think that if you just hold on a little longer, you might reach a breaking point. That endurance has an expiration date. That one day you'll wake up and simply won't be able to do this anymore. You don't need to live in fear of that day. I am not letting you walk into something you cannot survive alone. I am not allowing this season to stretch beyond what can be held with care. You are not being pushed to collapse. I know that reassurance feels hard to accept when everything feels ongoing. When relief hasn't come yet. When change feels distant. You don't need to force yourself to believe it. Let it rest near you without pressure. You don't need to promise yourself you'll be okay tomorrow. You don't need to commit to being strong next week. You don't need to make any vows about how long you can endure. You only need to breathe right now. I am with you in the long middle, the place where beginnings are past and endings are not visible. That middle can feel endless, can feel like being suspended without resolution. You are not suspended without support. I am here with you in the waiting. I am here with you in the days that feel repetitive and heavy. I am here with you when hope feels thin. You are not being forgotten as time passes, even when progress is invisible, even when nothing seems to change, even when you feel like you're simply surviving instead of living. I see you. You don't need to rush time forward. You don't need to count days or measure how much longer this might last. That counting only adds weight to what is already heavy. You are allowed to stop counting. This season will not break you, not even if it lasts longer than you hoped. Not because it's short, but because you are not carrying it alone. I am carrying you through it. I know how exhausting it is to wake up and realize you're still here, still inside the same circumstances, still facing the same weight. That realization can feel like a quiet grief each morning. You don't need to harden yourself against that feeling. You are allowed to feel tired of waiting. You are allowed to feel weary of persistence. You are allowed to wish this were over. None of that threatens your safety here. I am not asking you to be patient. I am not asking you to see this as temporary. I am not asking you to trust the timeline. I am simply staying with you. You don't need to stretch yourself toward the future. You don't need to imagine how you'll cope later. Later will come with its own care. Right now, you are held. I am not standing far ahead, telling you to keep going. I am here beside you, matching your pace, even when that pace is very slow. You are not being left behind by time, even when days feel the same, even when nights feel long, even when progress feels absent. I am still here. You don't need to rush rest because you're afraid of what comes next. You don't need to stay alert because tomorrow feels uncertain. Tonight is not for preparation. Tonight is for being held. This season will not break you by lasting longer than you can endure. You are not being measured against time. You are being cared for within it. You can let yourself rest without solving how long this will last. You can let your mind soften without predicting outcomes. Nothing will collapse because you stopped bracing. I am holding the weight you cannot carry tonight. You are not required to be strong for the future. You are not required to know how you'll manage if this continues. You are only required to be here, and even that is not an effort. I am here with you, and you are not alone in the length of this season. Even now, as time moves quietly forward, you are being held in a way that does not wear out. This season will not break you. I know one of your quiet fears is not just how long this season lasts, but what it is doing to you while it lasts. You feel yourself changing, and not always in ways you recognize or welcome. Softer in some places, harder in others. Less hopeful, less open. And you wonder if something precious inside you is slowly being worn away. It is not. Nothing essential about you is being destroyed. Nothing true about you is being taken from you. Even if you feel different, even if you don't feel like yourself lately, the core of who you are is still here. I am guarding it. I know how unsettling it is to notice your reactions shifting, to realize you don't respond the way you used to feel less patient, less warm, less trusting. That can feel like loss, like you are drifting away from the person you once knew yourself to be. You are not losing yourself. You are protecting yourself in the only ways you know how right now. And protection is not the same as erosion. Closing a little to survive does not mean you are closing forever. I see the tenderness you are afraid of losing. I see the kindness you think is fading. I see the parts of you that feel quieter, hidden, harder to reach. They are not gone. They are resting. I know you worry that by the time this season ends, you won't recognize who you are anymore. That you'll emerge changed in ways you didn't choose. You don't need to be afraid of that future. I am not letting this season rewrite you beyond care. Change does not mean damage. Adaptation does not mean loss. You are allowed to shift, to adjust, to grow protective shells for a while. Those shells are not your final form. I know you miss how you used to feel. Lighter, more spontaneous, more at ease. You miss the version of yourself who didn't have to think so hard just to get through the day. You don't need to grieve that version alone. I am with you in that grief, and I am holding the part of you that feels far away from yourself. You are not becoming someone unrecognizable to me, even if you feel more guarded, even if you feel less expressive, even if you feel muted or dulled by exhaustion. I still know you. I know the way your heart works beneath the tiredness. I know what matters to you beneath the numbness. I know the care that still lives quietly inside you, even when it doesn't show up the way it used to. This season has not stolen your goodness. It has simply asked you to protect it differently for now. You don't need to force yourself to feel the way you used to. You don't need to reopen everything that has closed. You don't need to worry about becoming better again. Nothing is wrong with you. I know how frightening it feels to sense distance between who you were and who you are now. That distance can feel like failure, like loss, like something irreversible. It is not irreversible. I am holding continuity for you when you cannot feel it. I am keeping what is true about you intact, even while everything else feels unsettled. You are not being reshaped without care. This season will not break you by changing you into someone you didn't consent to become. You are not being overwritten. You are not being hollowed out. You are being preserved. I know you fear that if you stay here too long, you'll forget how to be yourself again. That fear is understandable, but you don't need to fight it tonight. I am remembering you for you. When you feel disconnected from your own heart, I am still connected to it. When you feel distant from your own tenderness, I am still holding it close. Nothing important is slipping away. You don't need to monitor yourself for signs of damage. You don't need to constantly check whether you're still you. That vigilance only adds more weight. You are safe to rest from self-watching. I am watching over what matters. You are allowed to be different right now without being broken. You are allowed to feel altered without being lost. You are allowed to change without fear that change means harm. This season will not break you, not by lasting too long, and not by changing you too much. You are still whole even if you feel unfamiliar to yourself. I know how tired you are of trying to protect what you love about yourself, of worrying that if you relax, you'll lose it. You don't need to hold yourself together anymore. I am holding you. You can let this moment be quiet. You can let yourself be exactly as you are right now. Guarded, tired, unsure, changed. Nothing about that threatens your safety. I am here with you in the middle of this transformation, not rushing it, not judging it, not fearing it. I am keeping you. This season will not break you, not your heart, not your goodness, not your true self. You are held through all of it. You don't need to stay awake with these words. You don't need to hold onto any sentence, any thought, any meaning. Everything that needed to reach you has already settled where it belongs. I am here. Nothing has shifted as you've grown quieter. Nothing has loosened its hold on you as your thoughts have slowed. You have not slipped out of care. You have not drifted beyond what is holding you. You are still held. This season does not get the final word tonight. It does not get to follow you into rest. It does not get to demand your attention in the dark. You are allowed to stop engaging with it for a while. You don't need to keep watch. You don't need to stay alert. You don't need to be ready for whatever comes next. I am watching over you. Let your body grow heavy if it wants to. Let your breathing find its own rhythm. You don't need to guide it or correct it. Your body knows how to rest when it feels safe. And you are safe, even if this season is still unresolved. Even if nothing has changed yet, even if tomorrow looks exactly the same, you are safe right now. You don't need to replay what has been hard. You don't need to rehearse conversations, decisions, or fears. You don't need to solve anything before you sleep. Nothing important is waiting for you to stay awake. You are not falling behind by resting. You are not being careless. You are not abandoning responsibility. You are being cared for. This season will not break you. Not tonight, not over time, not in ways you cannot recover from. You are not more fragile than the care that is holding you. I am holding you gently, steadily, without effort. You don't need to know how this ends. You don't need to know when it shifts. You don't need to see the path forward. You are not lost without answers. I am here in the quiet with you. Here when your thoughts thin out. Here when words fade. Here when sleep begins to take you. I do not leave when you rest. I do not leave when you sleep. Even if your mind goes blank. Even if you forget where you are for a while. Even if the night passes without you noticing. You are still held. This season has not been allowed to take more than can be restored. It has not been allowed to reach deeper than care can reach. It has not been allowed to define you. You are not broken. You are not beyond repair. You are not alone. You don't need to carry yourself through the night. I am carrying you. The hours ahead can pass quietly. The world can move without your attention. Nothing requires your strength right now. You are allowed to be still. You are allowed to be tired. You are allowed to be uncertain. You are allowed to rest without answers. This season will not break you. And tonight, you do not have to hold yourself together. You are held.